When hardstyle is what you try to make, you'll likely run into a mistake. Come gather here, I'll tell you then 5 mistakes you won't make again. Hi! Hardstyle production is complicated and there are countless ways to screw up. But some mistakes keep coming back, so I made a list and I'm gonna show you how to fix them. While the title says hardstyle, a lot of these mistakes can be made in other genres, but I like hardstyle and this is my video. Okay, the first mistake I keep hearing is by far the most efficient way to piss me off, because it's that bad. If you guess mixing triplet and duplet badly, we can be friends. For the people unaware, pay attention because this is about you. If you divide one measure by 4, you get a quarter measure, and that one can be divided either by 3 or 4. If you do it by 3, it's called triplet, which makes sense, and by 4 it's duplet for some reason. Before I get mad about the wrong thing, using any of the two in your song is fine. Using both in your song is fine, but you kinda wanna avoid using both at the same time in the same song. So no triplet kick rolls in a duplet melody, and vice versa. While it can be done and while it's definitely fun to try out, be really careful with this. Not leveling properly is a fun one I honestly hear in the majority of songs I give feedback on. People often ask what plugins need for a good mix, but there is this one bigger factor 90% of you will fail to pay enough attention to: leveling. Leveling is the ancient art of playing with your volumes. That's what those sliders that occupy 40% of the surface area in the entire mixer are for. The reason all of them are at 80% by default is that you use those mainly to reduce instead of boost volumes. If your vocal needs to be louder, instead of boosting it, try dragging everything else down. Your mix will level up if you level down. Generally, when leveling, you want to make sure even on the low volumes that all your important elements still pop out. Take your time with this. Okay, a hardstyle specific one. Breaks. Yep, the non-hardstyle bit from the hardstyle songs. Your breaks take as much or often more runtime of your entire song as your drops, yet it is the least exciting bit for the average, edgy 16-year-old hardstyle producer, and it clearly shows. Start looking at your projects more like songs, spend some time trying to learn other genres for inspiration, borderline plagiarism and techniques. Maybe get some nice vocals to work with, but most importantly, try weird shit out and take your time with it. There are countless possibilities and endless styles you can take inspiration from. And if you're still drawing a blank, open a plugin you rarely use, click a few random presets and try to incorporate a few of those in your song. Oh hey there, someone has to tell you that you look amazing today. And it would totally make my day if someone like you would consider helping me out by subscribing, liking the video, and commenting about your favorite production tips in the comments. I tend to respond to all of them, so see you there. Bye. In a hardstyle drop and or climax there tends to be a lot of bass. However, all that bass comes from the kicks. If for example you have a pad in your drop with a bit too much low-ish frequencies, you are taking away the power from the kicks. You gotta give it some space. As a general guideline, it is not a bad idea to give everything that plays in your drop, be it vocals, chords, pads, leads and drums, doesn't matter, a low cut around 140 to 150 Hz. These are not exact numbers as every song and every kick is different, but it will make a lot of difference. A clean mix is a happy mix and a happy mix sounds like a candy brand. And now I'm hungry. This last one might be controversial, so I'm deleting every negative comment about it. Of course I won't, I love the discussion. Melody writing is very daunting, as people don't usually need to make decisions based on how they feel by a slightly different sound, and they try to find shortcuts for doing the one thing they came to do. Yep, I'm talking about copy-pasting in some random ass scale as a reference when writing a melody. There are tons of different scale types you can imply on every single note, and a lot of songs actually use multiple scales in a key with either a key switch or a modulation. There are tons of different scale types you can imply on every single note, and a lot of songs actually use multiple scales in either a key switch or a modulation. With all those different scales you get a slightly or radically different feeling that may or may not suit your track. And you are not telling me you have the knowledge to pick the right one for the right song with a straight face. Because if you did, you know by just hearing the notes if they would fit into your song or not. Scales are an incredibly useful tool for musicians who play instruments and that need to know how to tune their instruments or what notes to avoid when freestyling on something someone else is playing. And before you start bringing up that vocals often are labeled with a scale, while rare, they can be labeled wrong, as shown in this recent video of mine. Learn to use your ears first. If you want to get into music theory, either to make better music or just to figure out a way to prove me wrong, be my guest, but stop trying to avoid doing the one thing you came to do. I can talk about frequent occurring fuck-ups for days. So if you'd like to see more of this or a tutorial on the topic of your choosing, you can leave your thoughts in the specially designed suggestion box. Any feedback is of course more than welcome, and between you and me, I really enjoyed our time together today. I hope you stick around for the next video. If you are looking for cool presets for Serum, you should try out my pack with Fruity Monsters. I just updated it with new sounds I know you are gonna love. And while 10 bucks is already cheap for more than 100 unique presets, I figured it might be nice to give the first 50 people 40% off with discount code V4 in honor of the new update. It was a pleasure to be your host once again. Till next time!
Wake up in the sunlight.